I'm Beth with 50 Plus Beauty, and I am truly thrilled to be here with you today to introduce NIRA's latest offering, the NIRA Pro 3, and here it is. And it looks like the second generation NIRA. This is the second generation NIRA, and they all kind of resemble the first NIRA Precision device. And this is where I started with NIRA 4 years ago. Like in February, I did my before pictures for this little device, and in a moment I'll be showing you how great it does at reducing under eye wrinkles, and I even used it around here, and it does a fabulous job of treating wrinkles there. But then NIRA improved things still further by basically taking the NIRA Precision with the tiny little head and making it into a bigger head, which was so funny. It is so effective. This little guy is so effective and was so effective that I thought, gosh, I wish NIRA could invent this device with a larger head, because then that would make treatments a lot quicker. And that's what they did in the NIRA second generation. And this little guy is so powerful. And now NIRA has unveiled the NIRA Pro 3, which is the third generation of this device. And all of NIRA's devices are just wonderful. And I'll be showing you lots of before and after pictures on me and even my friend Missy, who had fabulous results reducing wrinkles with this device. And thank you so much, NIRA, for partnering with me, for sponsoring this video. But I have to say, even in non-sponsored videos that aren't sponsored by NIRA, I am singing NIRA's praises, and I always list it as my #1 anti-aging device, which it truly is. And I think after you see this video, you will realize that if you want to reduce wrinkles at home without the expense and hassles and potential risk of using an in-office laser procedure, this is the perfect device for you. And I do have a discount code listed below the video, and NIRA always has a 90-day money-back guarantee. A 90-day money-back guarantee, I can hardly say that. And so that means that you can try it risk-free for 90 days. And if you're like me, you're going to love this device. And I truly believe this will be your #1 device. And you may wonder, why is NIRA so great? There are a lot of devices out there, and over my 8 or 9 years on YouTube, I've tested the vast majority of them, and none of them holds a candle to the NIRA devices. And I believe that's because of this man, who is David Bean, who is NIRA's founder. He basically had a company that produced the in-office lasers to aesthetic salons and plastic surgeons. And he realized that what he wanted to do is he wanted to bring that laser technology, to bring it safely into an at-home device where we could get the same results over time, or at least maybe not the same results as the invasive lasers, the Fraxel lasers, the fully ablative lasers where they actually take off skin. But he wanted us to, over time, achieve similar results at home. And I really think that over the 4 years of working with NIRA, I have had incredible results in reducing wrinkles. And I am 67 years old, and for those of you who followed my channel, you know that about a year ago I had a facelift after basically moving into this big house, fixing up the house, with work people, but also Alan and I did a lot. I was caring for aging parents. We lost 3 or 4 people over 2 years that were in our family and super dear to us. And basically when we moved into this house, I was so overwhelmed with caring for aging people in my life and all other details. I had a lot of medical surgeries, that kind of thing, that I let all my beauty devices go by the wayside, including my NIRA. And basically that resulted in a year later, my face fell. And I'm not saying it wouldn't have fallen, but if you'll stick around to the end of the video, I will show you what I looked like just before that facelift. And after about 8 or 9 months of not using the NIRA, I think it's interesting, at 67 years old, I am going to age, and maybe I would have needed the facelift anyway, but I will tell you that after 8 or 9 months of quitting the NIRA, not using it, I had the facelift, and ever since the facelift, ever since they would let me go ahead and start using this device, which was about a month after the facelift, they allowed that, I have never quit using the NIRA because it's a phenomenal device. Now, before I get into all the before and after pictures and show you step by step through my 4-year journey with NIRA and all the great results I had at reducing wrinkles, let me tell you about this new NIRA Pro. It's actually the third generation NIRA. It's called the Pro 3. It gives you professional wrinkle reduction in just 2 minutes a day. It has an all-new silent mode with haptic vibration. In other words, it vibrates as you're using it. It's very wonderful. It stimulates your natural collagen to visibly smooth fine lines and wrinkles. The new NIRA Pro 3 has 9 laser power levels, which is just wonderful, so it's more powerful. It has 75% greater battery capacity and 53% faster charging, and it's pain-free with 0 downtime, and it's clinically proven and FDA cleared to produce visible, lasting results. And I will tell you that the NIRA Pro 3 comes with a wonderful app, and here's a picture of it. And basically, you can upload your picture into the app. AI will tell you in several different areas of where you need improvement. And then the new app allows you to track your progress, to track your treatments, and then you can enter your pictures throughout your treatment so you can see your progress in the app. It is very motivational. Also, at certain levels of usage, you get free prizes from NIRA, which is really a cool thing. And I will say I have downloaded the app, but I've not used it yet. So if you would like to see my complete NIRA journey using the app, then let me know in the comment section, because maybe I can do a video for you. I'll put my before picture in there and track my progress, and I'll let you know how that goes. Okay, as I mentioned, I started my journey with NIRA about 4 years ago using the NIRA Precision device. Basically, it's FDA cleared around the entire eye area. I used it under my eyes and also in the smile lines because I realized that it was really helping me there. Here's a before and after of the results using my first NIRA. There you can see in February 2nd of 2022, I have lots of wrinkles around my eyes, and then around my jowls, I have a lot of tiny wrinkles there. And then 2 months later, on April 2nd of 2022, as you can see, the wrinkles around my eyes have really shown an improvement. But to me, the most impressive area is that I have lost a lot of those wrinkles around my jawline. And then after having such great results with the NIRA Precision, NIRA brought out the NIRA Pro. And I started using that, and I've got some before and afters over 2.5 years. There you can see my before picture, which was again February of 2022. And after 2 months, there's a full face picture. And as you can tell, the fine lines and wrinkles around my eyes are getting better, and also in the jaw area. And there I am after 2.5 years of daily NIRA use. And as you can tell, the whole look of my face is just brighter and less lined. I've got a glow to my skin, and you may wonder why that happens. Basically, what the NIRA does, just like the in-office lasers that you have to spend thousands of dollars to go into an aesthetics office or into a plastic surgeon to get, this is basically a mini version of that, and you have to use it consistently. In fact, when I started using the NIRA devices, I used them twice a day for the first month, and then just once a day thereafter. And I would say, except for the year leading up to my facelift, where my face really fell, and again, I'll show you that in a few minutes. Basically, I use this, I would say, a good 5 days a week now, if not 6. In fact, I use it in the morning as part of my morning workout routine because I have to rest between sets, and so it's just a perfect time to go in and use my NIRA. Now, you may wonder, if you already have the NIRA Pro, what is the difference with the NIRA Pro 3? Because quite honestly, and David, I've got to tell you, I think you should have made the new device black, because it is very different. It is much more powerful, but it looks just the same. So it's a little confusing to us out here in YouTube land. Now, those were my fantastic results over 2.5 years of using the NIRA. And let me know in the comment section the types of results you have experienced using the NIRA, if it's been just as good for you. And quite honestly, NIRA kept asking me to do videos because I'm having fabulous results, but it got to be difficult to show improvement using the NIRA because at that point, at 2.5 years, it was keeping my collagen strong. And basically how it works, like any laser, it's little bits of intense heat in your skin. It does not hurt. In fact, I think it feels really good. But the heat actually causes the fibroblasts in the skin to realize, hey, we're getting a little bit of damage. So it sends in forces to try to repair that damage, which in turn rebuilds the collagen of the skin. That's why over time, wrinkles get reduced, but also you get this glow about your skin, which is pretty incredible. and that is just your collagen performing at its best. Now, I had great results, and at that time I had a friend, Missy, who said, Beth, I've got wrinkles and I'd really like to try it. So I reached out to NIRA and asked them if they would send her the device, and so we could make a video about her results. Here are my friend Missy's results, and they were pretty darn phenomenal. There she is in her before picture, and here she is 60 days later. And as you can see, her under eye wrinkles look quite a bit better, but I think Missy's best results are down around her jawline. As you can see, she's got many wrinkles there in the marionette line area, but only 60 days later, look at how much better her skin looks. She's got reduced wrinkles in both of those areas, and Missy could not be happier. Okay, let's get into the differences between the NIRA Pro and the NIRA Pro 3, the newest laser. And here is a comparison chart. The new laser is on the left, the NIRA Pro 3, and as you can tell, it has a greater battery life. The battery lasts longer than the NIRA Pro device. The charging time is basically cut in half from about 3 hours on the old device to just about 1.5 hours on the new device. The new device has what they call haptic feedback, and what that is vibrations when you're using it, which is very interesting. Okay, this is the NIRA Pro, the older device. There it is, and it's got the power levels, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, that's 5. And while there are 5 power bars lit up on both devices, on the NIRA Pro 3, each power bar actually represents more power, so this is a stronger device. And you may wonder, if you already have the NIRA Pro, why would you want to buy the NIRA Pro 3? Well, this is a stronger device, so it gives you more of the good stuff. It's easier to charge, it takes less time to charge, and the battery life is longer. But how I use this is in the morning during my workout routine when I'm taking a break and using my NIRA, instead of just using the new device, I combine the new and the old device. Okay, this is Tuesday, so I'm doing my lower body weights. And in the 2 periods, actually I just do the NIRA in one period, I do a plank in the other period, which gets my abs. But basically in one of the rest periods, I use my NIRA, and I use the NIRA Pro 3, and today I'm using it on the right side. Tomorrow I'll switch and I'll use it on the left side. But to cut the time of this workout in half, I use 2 NIRAs, so I'm using the NIRA Pro, and I turn them both up to 5. That went right up to 5. This one went right up to 5. Well, there it goes. And this is more powerful, but I figure if I'm switching back and forth every day, I'm getting the benefit of it. And you can hear the little beeps, and that tells me when I need to move the unit. And I can feel the heat, the warmth, and it is just really wonderful. Oh, that little funny sound shows that I did not have my connection correct with my skin. So I just can redo that one. It's not a big deal if you hit one area more than once, especially if you've done it for 4 years like I have. But anyway, I won't bore you with the rest of this, but I go ahead and do my whole lower face, parts of my neck. I really kind of avoid my forehead just because I don't care about that much, because I have Botox that takes care of that. But having 2 NIRAs is a great way to cut your workout time down significantly, and it feels good too. Now, as I mentioned earlier, about a year ago, I did have a facelift. And that facelift happened after basically 8 or 9 months of being off YouTube. We moved into this house. We started living in the basement. It was just a horrendous experience. Had a lot of personal stresses going on in my life. And so I let everything drop. I quite honestly didn't feel like I had time for the beauty routine. I had so many serious things happening in my life all at the same time that I let the whole beauty thing go. And so I'm not saying that having quit the NIRA for 8 or 9 months resulted in my facelift, but look at this picture that I took from my facelift video. And as you can see, right before the facelift, my face had really aged like incredibly. And surprisingly, in one of the last videos I did before the facelift, when we were just starting remodeling this house, it was May of 2 years ago. Here I am in a video, and I really don't look that different. And I remember at the time my neck was starting to really bother me because I was getting a lot of aging on my neck. But then I quit all my beauty devices. You know, I did keep doing my normal skincare. I did the tretinoin and all that. But over the 8 or 9 months before the facelift, my face really fell. And I thought my extremely rapid aging leading up to the facelift was just because of the stress in my life. And then I had the facelift, and then I was, learning to use AI, and I explained the situation with AI. And I asked AI, I said, do you think the fact that I quit using the NIRA 8 or 9 months before my facelift contributed to my rapid aging? And it said, well, Beth, you're 67 years old, so you are bound to age anyway. And it did say that while most of it was probably normal aging, some of it was the fact that my collagen was in very good shape when I was using the NIRA daily, and that having quit NIRA and the other devices I was using probably did contribute to my weakening collagen, which probably led to some of the aging that was apparent right before the facelift. Well, thank you for following along with me on my 4-year NIRA journey. It's been a wonderful one. And remember that I do have a discount code below the video, and it's a totally no-risk investment because you have 90 days to try it. And do use it consistently, though, because it's like anything else. Use it and it sits in a drawer, you're not going to have very good results. But I love that NIRA gives you a 90-day money-back guarantee. And stick around on my channel to learn more about the great results I've had with NIRA.